Hello, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. This is Travis Semulin Sours, and we're jumping into a traditional best of 3 draft on MTG Arena with the new set, Adventures in Forgotten Realms. The Black Amulet is garbage, if you were curious. If you like what you see, consider subscribing to the YouTube channel and check out the stream, twitch.tv/Semulin. Chat, say hello to YouTube. I think you're supposed to take this, because it's just freaking huge. I see the Spoils of the Hunt and like it. But like, this is a pretty decent rare. If you can attack with it, you're going to get a dungeon point and probably deal some damage. And if you got combat tricks to back it up, it could be real good. I ain't getting married to red. But if I spin that Plundering Barbarian, I could be on board. I'd probably play the Morningstar too. But let's see where this goes. Sorcerer class I originally didn't love that much, but let me give this a reevaluation. Yeah, I don't think I want that one. I like Planar Ally. I like the Gen Windseeker. There's nothing here I feel like I have to take. There's not really a removal spell. There's just like, hey, here's some decent cards. Barrowin a consideration? I don't know what Barrowin is. Oh, the gold card from the last pack? No, I don't think it... I think in power level it's comparable to the Fire Duck, and it's 2 colors. It's going to be less likely that I can play a 2-color card. I'm not going to try to do that. I think I like the Planar Ally here, which is a little bizarre to me. I wasn't anticipating that I would be picking this highly, but here we are. I think it's worth changing your deck a bit to make it better. I think in the deck that Zalto is good, you're probably interested in combat tricks anyway. So maybe consider that. All right, there's the Spoils of the Hunt. I really like Spoils of the Hunt. I also like the Loathsome Troll, but I think Spoils is just better. There's also Precipitous Drop. I want to try out the other colors, but I'm wondering if I'm just overvaluing Spoils, because I think Precipitous Drop is actively quite good too. I think I have to take one of those. I don't think I can take the +2 Mace here. Like, having access to a removal spell is just really good. I think Spoils of the Hunt is better. I'm still taking Precipitous Drop. I want to try out this card. I want to get to play with some of the other stuff. We're still very early in the format. And there's a Minimus, a Bag of Holding, and a Fang Blade. I like all of this. Of note, we're not seeing any green or any red. I think I'm going to take Minimus and see where this takes me. We just went from having no removal spells to having 2 of them. And now it's kind of time to decide. This shouldn't still be here. Neither should the Tiger Tribe Hunter. Those are both very good. I think we're looking at Hunter's Mark. If that many people are going to pass that, I'll consider moving for it. And we could get into either green-red, splashing the containment or the drop if we want it. This seems like a really good 2-drop. I also really like Bag of Holding. But I think I'm supposed to be green-red. Is that true? I guess I could still... Maybe this is a fluke and I'm supposed to be white-red? Still trying to figure this all out. Another Planar Ally, which I think I do like. Or we just top end red-white with very little removal. I mean, we are so far. I'll figure the rest of it out. This will be a good test case for how good this is. There's a Dragon's Fire. I would like a Dragon's Fire. So yeah, I think we're probably red-white. So I think I could probably play this. Ping off something little, maybe get us to those 5s a little earlier. I also think I could play Plundering Barbarian. And I suppose you could play the Hulking Ogre too. It seems okay. I don't quite know yet. No, I don't really want any of this. I don't currently want a Price of Loyalty either. But I'm going to gobble it just to cut red a little bit. That Troll seems like it shouldn't have gone quite that far. I guess there's still a possibility for Gruul depending on what the next one has. This just seems playable. I can play that. I think I'm liking the red-white the best so far. But like, it could easily be green-red from here. I've got a removal spell and some value engines in white. I would get the same thing in green. I guess it's conceivable we could play that. Alright, so we've got Evolving Wilds, which could lead to a splash, or this dude, which could lead to some card advantage. And another planar ally, but I think I've reached the maximum number of 5 drops that I currently want. I mean, it seems like a Borderland Minotaur with upside. It needs to attack for you to draw cards. Which could conceivably lead to a splash, or a turn 3 land if you really need it. But I think we know that we're going to play red, which makes me want this Chaos Channeler. And I don't think I'm in a position where I need to splash, but we'll see. There's a lot of cards I would actually want from this. I'm just going to stop thinking about the other color right now, and we're red until something's like, hey dude, you should be doing this. I want the Dragonfire. I also really want the Burning Hands. And I think Burning Hands might be better. If you bump into somebody playing green, it certainly is. And we've seen these going late, so I think I want the Burning Hands, but I also really want the Jaded Sellsword. And like 5 more Hobgoblin Captains. Here's our first real signal. This thing isn't great, but it does start doing something if I'm green-red. And that gives me another solid removal spell, and we probably let the planar allies go. I could also consider this Owlbear, but I think the mana sink on this is pretty neat. And I also think, you know, obviously growing the power here would be nice. Yeah, I like the Owlbear too. I think with this being an uncommon, that this is maybe our signal that we should be doing Gruul things. And I would like to do Gruul things. I have no idea what's going on, but welcome to the beginning of a format. We'll just take our Owlbear and be happy. Critical Hit could be incredibly interesting with Zalto. As well as potentially with some of our other creatures. I think we could play the Mace too. I think I want the combat trick. I'm gonna want one combat trick in this deck. Why not take it? Battlecry Goblin's a pretty dang good 2-drop. Yeah, welcome to the team, Battlecry Goblin. We've even got some other goblins, and could very well find more. The Trample Mace, the one that we could play in this deck, was the one that I was referencing there, Dave. I think the one Houdini was referencing too. I suppose technically it's a Morning Star, which I've still kind of wondered how that fits into Dungeons & Dragons lore without Lucifer existing. All right, so this is blow up an artifact or draw a card from your opponent's deck. This is artifact removal with cycling. I also kind of want the Hobgoblin Captain because that seems like a really aggressive start. But I also think this is just artifact removal with cycling, and I'd like to have access to that in my deck. I don't super need any of these. But I mean, we could play 2 trolls, I suppose, but I feel like my 5s are basically good to go. My 3s aren't. So let's take a Barbarian. I think we're okay to main deck that too. I don't want Wish. I might play this. Might not. It is, but it was named after Lucifer. That's why it's called a Morning Star. So if Dungeons & Dragons doesn't have Lucifer, then how do they have a weapon named after him? That's the part that I don't understand. Shouldn't it be named Vecna's Star or something? I don't think I would play this, but who knows, I might. Again, that could be played. Yeah, Morningstar doesn't have a chain. I think I'd rather have access to the plummet here. Got another Burning Hands, which I'm interested in, but I really liked this Wandering Troubadour, and the one draft I got to play with it. It was really good. Yeah, a Morning Star is a stick with a ball on top, and it's got spikes on it. Yeah, I was really impressed with this Troubadour, because Dungeon Venturing turned out to be just better than I thought it would be. I'd rather have it than the second copy of Burning Hands. It made me feel like I was still in a game when I was drawing lands. How many Dragonfires is too many? I kind of want to find out. I'm going to need a few more creatures. And surprisingly, I think I want to take this Hobgoblin Captain over Magic Missile. Is that crazy? I don't need to find dragons. This does 3 damage. Like, I'd like to play a couple of these Jaded Sellswords. I've already got 1. Like, if it does 3 and every once in a while 4, that's cool. I'm thinking if you get enough Venture into the Dungeon, it might be. Which one is this one? That's the Evolving Wilds at Uncommon, which is fine. Null Hunter gets a counter if we're attacking with a bunch of stuff. The question is, do we want to be incredibly aggressive, or do we want to have a good solid removal spell here? How many creatures do I have? 11. I need more creatures, but this is really good. I can't not take it. I'll just take every creature I see from here. It'll be fine. I like this bullet. It seems great. Let's play it. Thank you very much for the gift sub, Michael. All right, we're going to see how good 3 Hobgoblin Captains are when you back them up with some removal. This is just a dual land for my deck, right? It enters tapped, I choose a color, I can reveal a dragon to have it untapped, which could happen now and then, but this is just an Evolving Wilds for this deck. I think I'm fine with that. There's also another Evolving Wild, so if we wanted to splash the Pacifism or the Precipitous Drop or something like that, we could. But I kind of feel like I might just take my Jaded Sellsword and be happy. There's another Burning Hands. Well, you're welcome to have your opinion about that, but that's not what they are. Yeah, I'm getting too many playables. This is a problem. All right, I've got a bunch of artifact hate already mained decked. I don't need this improvised weaponry anymore, do I? That's the thing to cut. Let's take this in case we run into a flyer deck. What is that better than what we have now? Because it should be better than something. That seems incredibly late for Burning Hands. I mean, red was very open, is the actual answer here, which is not a bad thing to have happen. All right, let's do our Stream Raiders battle and then figure this out. There's probably some ranged units in here. Let's shoot them. Yeah, flail was an agricultural instrument. Which was eventually, I mean, used as a weapon. And a mace doesn't have to have a ball on the end. It could be flanged. It could just be an intricate club, basically. A mace is a metal club. A Morning Star has spikes. Well, I'm not on your side. We're just right. Yeah, the Japanese had a lot of farming implements that were weapons. Bruce with the kills. Discarilla with the assists. Rewards for Jansen, Schmuck, and Jay Alora. We're up to 259 subs. Thank you. This is our YouTube draft, so say hello to YouTube if you have not already. That was my experience too, John. But so far, I gotta say I'm liking this format. Alright, so we need one cut here. And it probably can't be a creature, because I don't have quite enough of them. So the question is, do we want to play the two Burning Hands, or just bring one in over a Dragonfire when it's better? Now be aware, critical hits never coming back. We're not rolling any dice here. That's kind of not what our deck's doing. I suppose it could, in theory, come back with this, but it's not super likely to anyway. I think I want to keep the Meteor Swarm, and I think I play the Magic Missile main and bring in the other Burning Hands for it when I need it. And I think this deck pretty obviously wants to play more mountains than forests. Like, the plan is this will usually come down and be a forest, but it gives me a 10-8 mana base, technically, which I think looks pretty good. Let's give it a go, shall we? Yeah, every set is fun the first time you play it. The question is it fun the 20th time you play it? Good luck, Wallet. I hope you have fun. A grueling decision. I see what you did there. Alright, so we kill things, draw a couple lands, do the stuff with Thing. Alright. Yeah, that was a nice little quality of life upgrade in the most recent patch. I can take out that Burning Hands for something else if they're not playing green. They're not going to take it out against me, though. This kind of sucks. I need them to play something so I can kill it, or me to hit it land so I can get my Singer going. Yep. Good old two-lander, ladies and gentlemen. Can't we draw a land, please? Because just killing everything they play is going to get old after a little bit. Thank you. Opponent mulliganed, so they're kind of in a rough spot there. Get him. Meteor Swarm's pretty good. That's why I got one too. That's what they say. So far, my favorite dungeon to get into has been the Lost Mine. The scries seemed really good. Although I should do combat math here. 8. Yeah, this doesn't actually speed up my shenanigans. Can either of these go face? 3 targets. So this is 3 to face. So here's 8, 9, 10, 11. So I should go Tomb of Annihilation and kill them next turn. I mean, I guess they're kind of dead with the Hunter's Mark too, but they're going to need to play a hell of a card to get out of this, and that's not going to do it. Now this still punches, right? Yeah, they're just dead. All right, so we probably don't need the Burning Hands here. We didn't get to see much of their deck, but I think it's pretty safe to assume they're going to have multiple flyers and that our Plummet would be better than Burning Hands. Like, that seems pretty easy. How much we want to value it is a fair question when we could play the Ranger. Because I could potentially take out the Bullet and play the Ranger. And I think not be too unhappy with that. We saw at least one artifact. There may be more. But I've already got 2 main deck artifact hate cards, which I'm pretty happy with. It looks like they're trying to get in on rolling dice. I'm not sure how valuable the 4/1's going to be. They don't appear to stack up incredibly well against the Iron Golem either. Let's give it one more game before we decide in depth what we want to do here. Not great, but we're on the draw. This hand would love to flood out. No, it doesn't, but if your opponent's not playing a bunch of 3/1s, that's pretty cool. This feels weird, but I think I'm supposed to take it. Like, his hand's not doing anything for a little bit. I'm probably just killing a creature next turn. If I'm not, I'm doing this, which seems great. It's D&D, fighting with the legends of yore. Man, Hunter's Mark is so good. I can't imagine they trade these, though. We aggroing? Or are we just going for value? I mean, I could start the long journey here, but I think I like the mine the best. Magic Missile seems not super wonderful to me. I don't think I want that right now. I'd almost rather just hit another land. That's because they're rolling spin down dice instead of actual D20s, Dave. There's a big difference between them. I don't know if you knew that. They're almost dead. Sorry, I'm trolling a little bit there, photos. The difference is the numbers on them aren't randomized. And nerds will get into huge arguments about whether it's actually random if you roll a spin down dice or not. It's a really bad time for us for them to hit that. Especially when we were just flooded out. I guess I can make them waste the mana to equip it. Which does something. Unless they draw a counter spell, but I'm still going to try to get them with that. It's not huge, but it's something. I don't think there's a reason to hold lands with my dragon gone, but I can hold one. The worst part is when they hit their first creature, they're essentially going to get 2 copies of it, which is really uncomfortable for me. And that's a really good one to hit. But the amulet is tracking about like I thought it would. If you're ahead, it looks real good. If you're not, it's not very good. I have to kill this now, I think. I don't think I'm supposed to let them attack with it, get a copy, and draw 2 cards. Like the saddest Meteor Swarm I've ever cast. Do you want a Brazen Dwarf copied? Because I'd be pretty happy with you doing that. Old attack cotton. That's risky. But sometimes you gotta risk it for a biscuit. We take these. I'm gonna come back with my stream muted and say something silly, and then no one will hear it. Which kind of ruins the surprise moment. I don't mulligan a lot of hands. But I think I'm gonna send this one back. That's better. That's better. It hurts me to send this back. But this hand wants one thing, and it's kind of disgusting. And it's for everyone to grab a leg. What's up, Dingleberries? Yeah. Well, I'd say this hand is working out all right. Maybe. I don't have a favorite color yet. Where'd they go? The open color is always my favorite color, Dingle. So we don't really know much here except that they're blue-green. Like, that's probably enough to bring in the Burning Hands over the Magic Missile. It's enough to at least be thinking about Plummet. I mean, so far that's been my sideboard decisions, right? Like, do we bring in the Flyer Hate or not? Which is not incredibly interesting, but I didn't see enough of their deck to make too many decisions here. I think I get another emote when we hit like 800 subscribers. So if people are still interested in grabbing a leg when we hit 800 subscribers, then heck yeah, we'll grab a leg. We'll grab all the legs. Dang it, Bobby. I should have played this out. But I can't ignore that. Thing's too good. Like, I don't need to turn, like, bounce spells into card advantage for them. That's a good dream, Dags. That's a good dream. Yeah, imagine that we'd let them untap with that. That would just be terrifying. I'd rather make their bounce worse by playing this, because they got more of it. I'm gonna say that's another thing I'd really like to kill, and I'm gonna do that. They're going to want to kill the bullet. The owlbear probably gets him more damage. It's got trample too, so may as well have some fun with that. I think we ended up with 3, and I was very happy with 3. Interesting blocks. I assumed they were going to trade off for the owlbear, because they're just taking 5 this way. But I guess we're going to learn what trample does. Because that's on board next turn. Neat. Look at my skill. Ermagirder Herbagirder! Imagine that had been Magic Missile. We would have been sad. The color hate cards are nice. The problem is, like, most of them are good enough you just play them anyway, eh? It probably does. But I don't have to math now. And that's really a win in and of itself, if you think about it. Yeah, this seems all right. I think we're supposed to choose red because I've already got something to do with red mana. It's up. You should be able to CBL right now. Unless they just haven't updated it yet. Paladin class. What does that do? That's the anthem. That one's actually a little scary. I think I like killing that and playing the Knoll this turn. What? Sure. It's just good old-fashioned red-green beats. Really hope they don't kill this channeler. If they kill this channeler, I probably can't win. They read the card. Michael, thank you for the gift sub. I appreciate you guys supporting the stream, especially as we're getting a new set going here. Much appreciated. That was a critical hit. You gonna block or you want to scoop now? The critical hit plus pump takes care of them, right? Yeah, I don't get my Zagduck, but I do get to do this. Everybody grab a leg. All right, let's do our Stream Raiders battle. I don't think we're doing a whole lot of sideboarding here, but I'll peek. They have to have equipment in this deck, right? Like they absolutely have to. I don't have enchantment removal, so we can't really bring that in. I don't think I want the other Burning Hands. But the first one still looks like there's plenty of stuff to kill. Although it won't do anything if I top deck it after they've done the thing with the stuff. But we might could jam a Windfall in case we get flooded. Adam with the kills, Razor with the assist rewards for Wombat, J. Allura, and Jansen Fox. Let's do it again. Yeah, I don't love the second Burning Hands, because if I top deck it after they've made their anthem, it's not great. Been winning a lot. I made one mistake in my second draft, which lost the game for me. Like if I have it early, there's tons of stuff I can kill with Burning Hands. If I have it late, there's not. Magic Missile at least scales a little better. I guess if they're in aggro deck too, maybe I'm more interested in just having access to that and not worrying so much about flooding out. That's kind of what the Troubadour and the Meteor Swarm are for. Like, I may be the one that's having to block a bunch. I think I'm still going to give this a spin, though. I think there's some upside to having that. But I like the set so far, Richard. I'm an old D&D nerd, so you don't have to do much to get me interesting. Yeah, we suspected Brunor was going to be kind of a problem, frankly. And him has looked real good. I think I could be happy with this windfall. So far, I've played green in every draft. I played green-white, green-blue, and now green-red. And I tried to avoid green ever so slightly, but like, people just seem to want to pass Hunter's Mark too much. I think I'm more scared of the captain than this. But I'm frankly scared of both. But I think I'm more scared of the captain. And I think I'm still supposed to trade these off, which feels a little weird. But if I can trade them off and land Zalto, we can start doing something. He will close the game relatively quickly. I was impressed with the dice rolling Borderland Minotaur. I wasn't expecting to be that impressed, and yet I was. Deck one. Ironically, this makes me want to play out the lands that Windfall is I'm supposed to be holding for, but I'm still not going to for one turn. All right, let's see what you got. I could try to fish for something to save this guy. Yeah, I think that's probably worth doing. Oh, it's only one card I have to discard? That's freaking amazing. That's better than I thought it was. I thought you had to discard 2 lands. Holy crap, that's great. Windfall's wonderful. Why was my head telling me it was discard 2 cards? I can't get to it fast enough. No. Yeah, I don't think I'd be playing it if it was discard 2 and draw 2. I don't know that anyone would want that, but that one worked out pretty well. So that puts us 8-1, and it really should have been 9-0, but I made such a terrible punt in the last round of my second draft. But Twitchers, say goodbye to YouTube. YouTubers, if you have enjoyed the content here, please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. And then come on by the stream. It's at twitch.tv/Semulin. We'll be playing a lot of D&D. We'll be playing a lot of whatever the current Magic set is. And we'd love to see you over here. Appreciate y'all tuning in, YouTubers. We'll see y'all next time.